Trump has a cult following.
Yeah, he got dads.
I think my dad liked him too, but he doesn't admit it because his wife is very liberal. So I think my dad, like my dad just texted me, like his wife's listen to their 3 dogs' names: Ruth for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Swear
Horrible.
to God. Fred for Frederick Douglass. Freddie. And then Maya for Maya Angelou. These are his wife has named the dogs.
Are the dogs that are named after Frederick and Maya, what color are they?
One is white and one is black and white. Fred is black and white, and then Maya is all white.
Oh, really? See, doesn't that seem a little...
Yeah, listen, it all seems a little like it's a problem.
Don't name your dogs
But
after
my dad
historical...
texted me the election night, on the night of the election, my dad texted me he did it. And I was just like, what do you mean?
Don't you mean we did it, Dad?
What do you mean we... I was like, Dad, what do you mean by he did it?
Yeah.
And I got the text, and I was just like, yes, he did. It was just funny. And I was like, oh, that doesn't seem like his wife was like very upset and went to bed early, and he was just kind of sitting up, and he texted me.
That was the feeling.
I was like, oh, it doesn't seem like you're broken up about this at all.
Once everybody around us started crying, it kind of got like, you like look around, you're like, this is pretty fucking funny.
Well, to
this
me,
is funny.
yeah, it was funny, and then I was also
funny.
just like, a lot of this is a show, folks.
It's all a show.
A lot of it's a show. Obama had the camps. He had the people in the camps. I mean, he wasn't dividing the families, but like, it was a similar situation. It wasn't out of it wasn't one guy that can't deviate. Like, listen, Trump, I think the thing with Trump is the aesthetic, the way he talks, the way he deals with people. How
good was that Baghdadi speech, though?
I mean, it's great.
One of the better presidential speeches of all time.
He's made comedy almost irrelevant. Comedy almost doesn't make any sense now because you're never going to be funnier than him.
He's the funniest guy alive.
His speech about Ben Carson is still the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Where he goes, he went after his mother with a hammer, and the people in the audience like they don't know what's going on, and he's like, and he tried to hit his friend with a lock, and he's talking about these revelations in Ben Carson's book, and he's in Iowa or something, and he's just going and going, and it is so wild that you're like spellbound. You're like, this is fucking hilarious. And he's just, that weird jazz kind of talk he does where he just,
Have you seen his hour right now? It's strong.
His hour strong?
You can YouTube any one of his live events.
See, dude, I've always wanted to go to a rally, and not because I'm like agree with what he says, and not because the people there aren't fucking insane. I think anyone at any political rally is mentally ill, right?
Yes.
Of all the things you could do with your time is stand in a fucking warehouse and hear a narcissist shout at you. Although when I go on tour, right? I would like you to do that for me. But at least, I want to go to a rally because I think it is like the funniest show that you'll ever see. But I've fully accepted that America's over and that we're like, it's done. We're on the decline. I'm like, no, you don't think so?
No.
What positive?
I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
College football still fucking rules. So
yeah, that's a good point.
We got that going for us.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You been to a game lately?
No, I should.
You should go to that. It'll fucking get some.
It'll get you going.
Yeah,
I just think that the problems are too deep. That if they do get solved, it'll be some miracle. And it's like I'm not personally invested in like it is what's going to happen is going to happen. We got a lot of we got automation coming, AI. The reason that Trump is like I want Logan Paul. Because here's the thing. I like Logan Paul. I met Logan Paul doing Theo Von's podcast. Do you remember Logan Paul with the whole thing in the Suicide Forest?
Loved it.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize why people got that angry at him, but he was canceled. He was, lost endorsements. He was being, attacked. Everybody online, celebrities, people that were his friends. And I talked to him about that. He goes, people I knew that were my friends were turning on me. And he goes, I know I made a mistake and I did a stupid thing. But he goes, the vitriol, the hatred that was coming at me from people that I was friendly with and that I knew was wild.
Well, it's also, with that one, it's also like people like me. I had never watched any of his stuff until I watched that episode where he was in Japan, dressed as a Pokemon, throwing Pokeballs at random Asian people.
Right, yeah.
So then when you're watching that, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a little much. He fully admits that he was
wilding.
He was a little wilding.
He was wilding.
But this is why I want him to be president. I went to his house to do a podcast. He lives like the kid from Blank Check. He's just got sneakers and Ferraris strewn around the yard. You know, they've got a film crew filming him. Him and his brother just walk around. It's like Netflix, you know?
It's terrifying.
And he said to me, he's like, you know what? In 10 years, if I'm bored, I will run for president. And I had this really dark thought. Not only would he do it, but that he might win. And then I had even the darker thought. I went, and he might not be that bad. He actually might be pretty good at it. And should I get involved now to start trying to groom him to be the president? Should I be Logan Paul, Steve Bannon? Yes.
Yes.
And here's why I'm able to do it. I've given up on the idea that it's all going to be okay. Like, I think I've embraced what the stage of the empire we're in. Yeah. And I think Logan Paul's a fitting president for that stage of the empire.
He's a good Nero.
I think he's a fitting Nero, and I want to help him get there because
You have a horse in Senate.
He's a highly disciplined guy. I think
abs?
Yes. No, I mean, he's well put together.
He's got abs?
Well,
or is
I don't
that
know
where
about
you
Jake.
want to be?
No,
I don't. Want a Paul ticket.
Paul, I don't know. I think we're gotta go with a woman. We gotta balance out the straight whiteness of it all.
You get Whoa Vicky?
We need one of them.
Yeah, Whoa Vicky or Bad Baby.
We need one of them.
Bad Baby.
Baby, she just got smacked up.
Yeah.
By Whoa Vicky.
All right, so Whoa Vicky.
Now is Whoa Vicky Philly?
She
sounds Philly.
They both look like Kensington to me. North Philly.
Where can you look up, Bobby, where Bad Baby's from, please, and start producing this goddamn show? And Whoa Vic. Can we get a Bad Baby and Whoa Vicky where they're from? Thank you, Bobby. I know when Rogan's in here, everybody pays attention. When I come in, everybody likes to go to sleep. They look like either Long Island or Philly.
It does, yeah. Well, they're a city where the opioid crisis is.
Yeah, it's ravaged the area. What do we got, Bobby? What do we got, Robert? Robert Hutch, everyone with us.
Bad Baby's from Florida.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's it.
That'll do it. And what about Whoa Vicky?
I think she's from the desert.
Now, Bad Baby has some catchy songs. What about Whoa Vicky? Now, Little Xan follows me on Twitter. You know Little Xan?
Little Xan?
Little Xan.
Yeah.
Xan
That's
is
awesome.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it.
Wow, Xan's a decent candidate.
Xan is, you're absolutely right about that.
It's going to be a good cabinet.
It's going to be good.
I think the Chinese are in trouble.
There's no part of me that's kidding about this. I want everyone to know that.
Yeah, I know.
It's like there's no part of me that's kidding about trying to put Logan Paul in the White House.
That's a good ticket.
I don't think he'd be that bad. Where is Whoa Vicky from, Robert?
She's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Whoa Vicky. Is she good? Is Whoa Vicky good?
Though. That's good. That's what you want for those red states. You want to get someone from Georgia.
You need somebody from Georgia in there.
That's good.
Logan Paul and then Whoa Vicky.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I do think that YouTubers are, as annoying as many of them are,
right?
They figured something out.
Should I get on YouTube?
When I walk around, yes, no, yes.
What would my gimmick be? Should I be like a chef or something?
I think you'd have to go pay pig.
Pay pig? But there's no legitimate pay pigs, are there?
No, well, pay pigs are like FIDOM, like financial domination, where you call someone up and be like, give me your money. But that's that's like hot chicks do that. What I think you should do is like mukbangs where people feed you.
Oh.
You'd have to like eat a whole, you could get on and like eat a whole Boston Market chicken and make like the sounds, and then describe it. Dude, you would get 200,000 views.
If I mukbanged?
If you went and recorded yourself eating a Boston Market chicken with the gravy and just slurping and eating like an animal.
You eat the bones?
I don't know if you'd eat the bones, but I think I'm not even kidding. You might get 250,000 views or more.
I like watching.
You could go viral if you started thinking like that.
I like watching those videos where those guys go to Taco Bell and eat the whole menu, or like Arby's. It's just, there's something comforting about like a guy goes to Olive Garden and he eats like everything on the menu. And it's just like, look at all these weird variations. And he's just like, he's getting sick and he hates it. And he's feeling like, he's just slurring and getting slow.
Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, he's not eating the whole thing. He's eating like a bite of each. But like, yeah, like when you're just eating, like, chicken carbonara with bacon now, chicken carbonara with like jalapenos.
What is it? You take a bite or two of each
Takes a bite or two of each. But, you're there for an hour, 2 hours. You just
and you're eating the entire menu of Olive Garden?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a genre.
It's a Try Guys.
Oh, and they just eat the whole restaurant?
Well, it's not the only thing they do, I guess, but that's all I watch with them. He goes to McDonald's, or he did Burger King, he did Arby's, he did
you know who I used to
Hut.
watch on YouTube a lot, and I used to enjoy Alex Jones.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He
didn't really eat a lot. He would talk about coffee occasionally. But yeah, I think if you went into that situation where you started like, you know, you had a channel where
I don't be a competitive eater, right? Because there's that guy like Stoney,
no,
who like he'll eat like literally like 100 Big Macs.
If you like went on YouTube, put like beef, like ground chuck beef, you'd cook it,
Right?
Like you put it in your mouth and just squished it and ate it, and then poured milk over your head, you would get like hundreds of thousands of views.
Why am I not doing that?
Because here's what people don't realize. Technology is that Pandora's box that's been opened. You can't put it back in. And it's really making people sick.
Yeah.
Like all the things that just cross your head where you would just be like, all right, that's not right. I'll just get rid of that. Like we're really going into this very strange, weird rabbit hole of like things we just want to see.
Yeah.
We just want to watch things.
Right.
We're all becoming weird passive viewers and we just want to watch things.
You need to get a hobby. I keep saying it, but like, you know, people need to.
Well, people do have hobbies, is watching the Try Guys.
It's not a hobby. Passive things aren't hobbies.
Okay.
Build a model car.
Okay. Does it have to be the biggest loser hobby ever?
All right. What stamp collecting?
Tennis. What about tennis?
That's a hobby, sure.
Yeah. Why do you have to be stamp collecting? Why does it have to be some weird serial killer?
Maybe they'll have a friend.
That's a fucking hobby. Collecting people's skin. Get something you can really sink your teeth into.
Stamp collecting is a valid hobby.
Stamp collecting?
I mean, it's not as big as it used to be, but the guy who I used to live in his house and he died.
Why did he die? Are you confessing to something?
No.
You sound like you're about to confess.
He was an old man. But
wait a minute. Hold on. How old was he?
98. I don't know.
How did he let you live in his home?
Well, I was my landlord.
Oh.
And he had a huge stamp collection. He was also the head of the psychiatric prisons in Suffolk County for a while. Not at the time.
How did you meet him?
I was just Craigslist.
They vouched for you?
Who did?
No, I mean, like, I thought you got him through the prison.
No, he was the head of psychiatric prison.
Oh, so you just met him through Craigslist?
Yeah.
And you told him you worked at the jail? Did he like that?
The morgue at the time.
He liked that?
Yeah.
That was good.
That's interesting. I used to I mean, like, he could barely talk. He had a stroke already at that point.
Right.
And sometimes I would hear him at night going, ice water. Because like his son, his drug recovering, we call it, his son was in recovery.
Yeah.
He had a voice box. Like, hello. He was a good guy.
His son had no voice?
Well, he had a voice box. You know, he's like, hello. That thing.
Hello, they talk like this.
Yeah.
Hello.
Like a
now,
robot.
why did he have a voice? Was it lung cancer? What
I think
happened?
lung cancer. I
So
mean,
his son had a voice box.
yeah. He told me when I first came in, like, my son, he's a survivor. I'm like, great, perfect. But he was a good guy, his son. But I guess he would get annoyed. I think the dad was a little abusive when they were growing up because he would not go get him ice water, even though he was asking for it.
Really?
I mean, eventually, maybe. I know one time he fell in the bathroom and my friend was over and my friend was a little drunk and he was, well, because like we're hearing this. We're hearing like he's going,
God.
He's going, help. And I'm like, I'm at this point a little desensitized to like, he's always making noises and like the sun's going to come down. Like, what am I going to storm into their house? Like, I'm in the basement. It'd be like, I don't have free reign in the house.
As he's yelling, help, what are you and your drunk friend doing?
Well, I'm just going, it's fine.
Okay.
And my friend's like, we have to help that man. And he was probably right.
It's fine. Sit back down. What are you, a hero? Sit down.
And eventually, my friend wouldn't shut up about it, so I called Robert. I said, I think your father has fallen. And he eventually, like, I'll take a look at it. And yeah, the next day, he's like, thanks for calling me because he was, he's fallen in the bathroom. And he was stuck between the toilet and the bathtub, I think.
God. Man.
But he was a stamp collector, is my point.
We need a war with China. We need a war with China.
Be nice to your kids. Maybe we'll get you ice water in 40 years.
I mean, God, thank God we will not be 90.
Yeah.
I was at this wedding recently and I was like, I think I want to get married and have more of a traditional life.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a joint, like I'm not marrying you, we'll have a joint wedding together.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Like I'll marry Lucy and you can marry,
I don't know.
Logan Paul or whoever.
Yeah, Logan Paul, man, I'm telling you.
Be a marriage convenience for him.
He's going to do a lot better than you think. I will back him for president. I was watching a Steve Bannon doc the other night, and I'm like, I need a Trump. I need a Trump.
You think you have a tactical mind for that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, if not, who cares?
Sure. But you just want to be a kingmaker.
I mean,
I thought you were the star. You need a Bannon.
I like to play a little game, though, but I'm talking about years from now when I'm bored of comedy and I don't give a shit anymore.
Right. You need to beat Trump. You don't need to find you need to find a Bannon.
It's an interesting question. Should I be the president? Fair point, right?
I take you over fucking. I don't think Logan Paul's going to connect with the masses. He's connecting with kids, but like the people who he's not going to whip people into a frenzy like you can. You can get
well, this
people.
is interesting. Now you're making me think maybe the president of the United States shouldn't be Logan Paul, should be me.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. This is very interesting. I don't know.
I'll be your goddamn Steve Bannon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, this is an interesting question, you know?
First thing you do is you got to get fatter. You're not weird in between. You need to be a Chris Christie type.
They want real fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
they want political cartoon fat.
Yeah. You need to move your permanent residence. You have to live there, but you have to be a resident of Pittsburgh.
I like that.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't hate these ideas.
Right.
And here's the thing. I have a nickname.
Yeah.
Now, what is the nickname?
Oh, what was Trump's nickname? What do you mean? Like the Donald? Like you talking about that?
Well, there was the Donald. There was I'm trying to think. They call him the God Emperor.
Who called him a God Emperor?
The alt-right. Everybody online. They call him the God Emperor.
So are you asking me for what the alt-right's going to call you online, or are you asking for a nickname?
I need a nickname.
El Fuego.
El Fuego? What does that mean?
The flame or the fire? Not because you're gay, because just in general. Like,
I don't know if I can pull that off. That sounds very Latin.
It is. It's Spanish.
What about
the boss? No, the chunk. Chunk.
What about cum chunk?
When people cum chunk? Cum chunk?
Cum chunk.
Why not just slut pig? What are you doing?
Why not slut pig?
Yeah, look, you can call yourself. Yeah, call yourself the pig.
The pig.
Yeah,
that I like. The pig. A pig will get it done.
Pig eats what it has to eat. That's what you need. This country needs a pig.
A pig's comfortable in the mud.
Pig eats the shit if it has to.
Pig will do what it wants.
Yeah,
and pig tastes real good.
Smarter than we look.
Pig is smarter than he looks, and pig sometimes makes a sacrifice and feeds the whole family.
Yeah,
a pig can do it.
Yeah.
A pig will do it.
I'm a hardworking pig.
I'm a pig. I've been a pig my whole life.
I'm your pig.
I'm now your pig, America.
And you actually have your announcement speech. Like, look, as crazy as Trump coming down the escalator, making that off-hinge thing, you literally get naked. You get in the nude, and you get into the mud.
With hogs, pigs.
Yeah, like with pigs. And you go, this is what I am now. I'm here for you.
I am your pig.
Yeah.
The pig. Tim Dillon, the pig is here.
Yeah.
I'm your pig, America.
And I'm just sitting there watching with a clipboard going
Tim Dillon, American pig.
American pig.
American pig. Tim,
this could win. This could fucking win.
I'm not even kidding. This is not the worst idea.
Are we doing 2020 or waiting for the 2020?
We're waiting. We missed the boat on 2020. But we're doing 2020 for American Pig.
Yeah.
He's from Pittsburgh.
Right.
Just drive around, go to Driftwood or Spicewood or one of the woods. It's Thanksgiving time. It's Thanksgiving time. Can I sing the whole episode because it's a holiday episode? Kyle Rittenhouse was found innocent on all charges. What do you think of that, Ben? Many people are upset. I just sing the whole hour, you know. Well, folks, it's an audio-only episode today. We just got off tour a month.
our new studio is being built on the top of the Sears Tower in Chicago. Very excited about that. We're dumping an insane amount of money. We have many investors in the new studio. People don't know, and a lot of the investors want to stay silent because the show deals every now and then with topics of a controversial nature. So many big investors, I'm talking power players, money people from behind the scenes, in the shadows, dark money, if you will, slush funds, they're lining up to open their coffers to throw money at our new studio, which is going to be built in the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. We are moving to Dubai to start a comedy scene in the United Arab Emirates, in the capital of Dubai. Ben will live in Doha with his wife, which is a little bit far away, but I, of course, need to be in Dubai at the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, where we will have a comedy studio at the very top of it, funded by dark money investors from all over the world, which we cannot name, and we're very excited about that. It's going to take a little bit to finalize all of this. Now, we kid, obviously, that those two things were jokes. We're not moving to Dubai unless we get an offer, and if we do, we will. But we are having a studio built, and many of you doubt this. You think we're lying to you. I've never lied to you, except when I said I was going to Texas was a good idea, or that I was, that I was going to, what other lies have I said, right? I've said I was going to lose weight, but I have. What did I say? Charity event. No, but we're trying to do charity event. I want to do charity. No one tells me how. Every day, this is true, I wake up and I go, how do I do a charity event? And nobody has any useful information. I desperately want to do charity, feed needy families, help people. I'm telling you that. But you have to understand that my audience they're not good at that. Like, I don't have an audience of women that really are involved and plugged into the charity scene. My audience doesn't give me any good suggestions about charity. They'll send me a GoFundMe of someone and I'll amplify it because I always will if it makes sense. Some of these GoFundMes I think are sus. But if I look at it and I read it and it feels correct, then sure. But it can't be something that's completely seeming like it's, something where I'm going to find out, that it was a Rittenhouse slush fund. That's what I think some of these GoFundMes are going to be. And by the way, with your Thanksgiving, I hope it's not a Rittenhouse. I hope it's a written home. And I want you to say that when you go to your Thanksgiving, you say, you know what I like about this? It's not a written house, it's a written home. Get that on shirts and wear it to your Thanksgiving. It's a good, remember, it was funny the other day I was thinking about this because I think, which I'm trying not to do, the less you do it, the better things are. But I was thinking about, remember all those games and we're doing this in a car, by the way. Ben is driving around. Ben is a horrible driver who almost killed someone once with a motorcycle. You almost killed a guy. Ben's wife almost killed a woman, right? And Ben and his wife have both been sued for millions of dollars. And yet I am the one who is accused of being a bad driver because I have totaled 5 cars and I've had my license suspended over 20 times. And I'd like to drive fast, but yet I have never been, we had that one incident when I almost killed my secretary, a very fat woman who hit her head on the dashboard of my car when we were going to get Percocet, and her head blew up, and there was like a baseball shape on her head. It was very disturbing, and I had to sit through a deposition, but nothing happened. Nothing came of that. She ended up being fine. This was not she had some problems probably after that accident. But, she got but she was the one who said turn and pointed
into the bank for us to get money out of the ATM so that we could buy Percocet in the middle of work. I'm not blaming her. What I'm saying is that life's weird. And she smacked her head. It was really bad. The car Pepsi can. It was a head-on collision. And I got over that, but Ben and his wife are constantly killing people. Didn't your wife hit someone with a baby? She knocked over the baby stroller. She knocked over a baby stroller. Was there a baby in it? Jesus Christ. Ben's wife knocked over a baby stroller and threw a baby. What happened to that baby? What happened to the baby? Nothing? How is a baby fine if she knocked over a baby stroller? When I say I'm terrified of this woman and people say I'm overreacting, she's Caitlyn Jenner. The woman will kill children with impunity. Ben killed a motorcyclist just because he didn't like him. He hit some guy. So I'm terrified taking my life in my hands, sitting in the front seat of this car, broadcasting for you while our studio is being built in Phoenix, Arizona. But what I was thinking about the other day, look at this guy jogging. Look at this old guy. God love him. He's just jogging. Texas has some in-shape, older men. Like a guy like that's a Texas guy. He just jogs. He's got white hair, and he just jogs, and he's addicted to that endorphin rush of jogging, and then he feels good, and he can go home and watch Tucker, and it keeps him in shape. But remember all those games like that they used to sell, that the point of the game was to like loosen everybody up at the party. It was like they were like Pictionary and Scrabble, and there was a lot of other games. I'm trying to recall all of them. What is the game where everybody asks the questions? Trivial Pursuit. Yeah. There were all of these games because I guess there was a certain point in this country where people didn't know how to talk to each other. And they didn't hate each other enough to just fight, which is what they do now. So they were bored. Like they showed up to a party and everybody was like, we don't know what to do. So then you would break out like one of these games, and I guess that would get people talking. And the point of the game, categories and fucking cranium. The point of these games was to just lubricate people enough socially to interact, because it was a fun thing to do because these people didn't see each other a lot. They had nothing in common. And this was the time when people they were a mystery to each other, is my point. There was no social media. There was no Facebook. You didn't know what someone had for breakfast. You didn't know how big their kid was until they walked in. People were a mystery to each other. You did not know anything about your relatives other than the few times that you would see them over the holidays. So you would go in and you go, I don't know what to talk to these people about. Just break out categories. Just break out Trivial Pursuit, and we can all ask each other questions. We can get silly. We can get goofy. But now the holidays have just become cauldrons of hatred. People hate each other now openly. So much that they won't even do that. Like nobody would even suggest that they would play a game because people would get nervous about it. People are so apprehensive and anxiety-ridden about walking in to any of their holiday parties because everybody hates each other for different reasons. And they hate each other because of what they believe. It's a deep hatred. It's no longer just family squabbles and, grudges that were held and, she didn't come to my party and her kid's party was on the same day as the thing I was trying to do. Now these disputes that people have are rooted in how they feel about the world and which direction they think the country should go in. And I like that. I think that's good because what it does is it makes these things so much more fun
than they used to be. Not for me, I don't go, but for the people that go. Isn't it fun? Isn't it more fun now than it was playing Pictionary? Isn't it fun to see your aunt and your grandfather scream at each other about Kyle Rittenhouse, a person neither one of them knew existed until 6 months ago? Isn't it good that they can destroy their entire relationship based on a kid that they didn't know existed until half a year ago? Neither one of them was in Wisconsin. Neither one of them was at the protest, riot, whatever. Neither one of them has a gun, fires a gun, neither one of them has been in that position. Neither one of them understands that position. Neither one of them has worked as a cop or in law enforcement or as a DA or as a defense attorney. They have no knowledge about courts, about criminal justice. They have no knowledge about public policy. They don't really know anything about psychology, about the way people react in situations under pressure. They know nothing about nothing, but yet they are going to scream at each other with the certainty of a man who God just appeared to about a kid from Wisconsin, Kyle Rittenhouse. And that's fun to me. I think that's entertaining. I enjoy it. I like to see it. I like to see the little skirmishes. You know, if you're at the holidays, let me light a cigarette for a minute here. Ben, try not to kill someone. Notice the way the skirmishes begin, because you know you're not going to be able to keep the top on the can of worms. You're going to try. Like, there's going to be little moments during dinner where topics arise and then people shut them down. Like, there's going to be someone whose job it is to shut it down. There'll be an aunt whose job it is to just shut it down. And she's going to just bring up something and she's going to laugh and go, we're not getting into that. Now, that aunt's power is going to decline through the evening as people drink more. And then eventually people start telling her to shut the fuck up. And then it's just going to descend into chaos pretty quickly. People are going, is that a St. Bernard? Is that a St. Bernard? That's beautiful. All right, it's kids. We can't talk to kids. Not during the Epstein trial. I thought that was an adult. I just yelled out at a kid, is that a St. Bernard? All of a sudden, their parents come out with guns. Stop trying to fuck my daughter. I just like St. Bernards. Yeah, that's what they all say. You like St. Bernards, and all of a sudden, she's pregnant. Like, my family's going to have a Thanksgiving this year, but I'm not going. And the reason I'm not going is I'm hated by my family, by many different parts of my family, and for many different reasons. Some are legitimate, some are not. If I was to choose to go to Thanksgiving, there would be conference calls and group text. There would be email chains. It would be a process. Cancellations. People, they might uproot the entire thing. They might say, we can't do it if he's going to come. Because I don't get along with my aunt. We don't get along. We don't get along, and it's not political. It's personal, and we don't see eye to eye. So I will not be going to that. I'm having Thanksgiving with my fake family, my godson and his retarded parents, and my friend Michelle and her buffoon and her children. So there's something very interesting about Lori Lightfoot to me. Everything Lori Lightfoot does, everything she wears, every expression she makes or doesn't make, the pitch of her raspy voice, her turn of phrase, her kind of blank look, the stare when she just stares at a reporter, which is pretty spectacular, as you would imagine it would be. There's nothing about Lori Lightfoot that I don't love. A true Batman villain, a true corrupt goon, her local feuds with Burger King Ed, the disgraced city council member. Just the idea that this woman is the mayor of Chicago. It's like it's a real city, right? So Lightfoot is married, and she's going out on the town. She's using the VIP limousine service in Chicago.
she's going out on the town, and she's unhappy with how this played out. Lori Lightfoot, very unhappy with the service being given to her by VIP Limousine. And here is Lori.
I would never use VIP limo again. Driver Carlos showed up early for our pickup. A good sign, right? Turned out not be so.
Turned out not be so. Lori is using the parlance of the streets, enraged, typing this review. So not every word might not be, but the general message is going to come through. Continue.
Carlos shows up and wants to use our bathroom. A little strange, but fine. Turns out he pisses on our toilet and does not have the courtesy to put down the toilet seats. Beginning of the end. We were going to the United Center. Carlos clearly has no idea who to get there. He is totally reliant on a whacked GPS system that has him driving his huge Cadillac Escalade stretch down extremely narrow neighborhood streets, going in a route that made no sense. I had to take over and give him clear directions to get to the expressway. Apparently, that was totally emasculating to him. But House says, my GPS says I should get off at Division off the expressway when we are going much further south and west. We finally get there, and he says he needs 2 numbers for the return pickup. We had already given him one from my female spouse. I say I will just give him mine since I am the person paying. Carlos says, I need one from the gentleman. I am totally confused and question this. Carlos explains to this dumb female that he needs a number from a guy because girls take too many pictures and run down the battery on their phone. My expression must have said something because then he's said, trust me, I have been doing this 20 years. I'm a middle-aged woman, not some dumb kid from his misogynistic worldview. I, of course, gave it to him, and his response was to rudely close the window divider while I was talking. The guy was a complete a-hole. Stupid, terrible driver, and a complete jerk on top of it. Can't believe he is employed, and I would never use the service again while he is.
Now, here is the turn.
Yeah.
Well, it's a turn.
Yeah.
It's a real turn here. Because let us all remember, this woman is in charge of one of the largest cities in America.
Yes.
This is a real turn. Here is the statement from the Chicago VIP limo.
1. Our driver did not use your bathroom. We checked the vehicle cameras and he did not enter your home. You had lots of guests over, and of them could have done what you claim our wonderful driver Carlos did. 2. Our drivers have GPS systems that work with current events and traffic. Chicago often has festivals, and we have to work our way around them. It is not your place to tell him how to do his job. 3. Our drivers ask for a gentleman's phone number, actually, because they don't ever want to seem inappropriate asking for a lady's phone number. And you should appreciate that Carlos took the time to ask for a backup phone number in case you lose signal or battery. Again, our drivers know what they are doing and have experience. It seems to me the only person here who is sexist, my dear, is you. I don't know where you come to your conclusion that you were emasculating him. Maybe you hoped you were. Your language is horrendous and lewd. Just your rant here make me feel embarrassed for you. Also, wow. That's pretty insulting that you refer to women who like to take a lot of pics at their events as dumb females. Your driver arrived early. He got you on time and safely to your event. Your credit card you provided on the contract was declining. We even let you use a different credit card for payment, which is against our rules. And you received an upgraded vehicle twice the price of what you paid without any upcharge as a free upgrade from our company. Wish I could review customers like you. Find something better to do with your time, and you should appreciate great service when you receive it.
And I couldn't love her more. I couldn't feel more of an affection for this woman and a gratitude that she's on the planet. She has no conscience, Lori Lightfoot. She has no conscience. It is what allows her to dance as children and getting shot in the face. She's a true villain. This is who she is. And this is how she runs Chicago. A petty, vindictive chief executive. That is what a goon does. That is what a villain does. It is so important as a villain, as a troll. And she is a troll of the highest order. A huge fan of her. And I wish her the best.